Whoa, whoa, whoa. Sorry, mic test, mic test. Small, small. Small, small. Small, small. Hello. Test, test. Oh, that's the wrong one. Hold up. Face pocket. There we go. All right, so to warm up, usually have streams on Thursday just to do over stuff, but I gotta leave Thursday to go attend some family matters. And but I also got something in today. We got the smaller version of the Skywalker called the Cubean or the Nova roaster. So yeah, so now we have even more roasters. So here it is. That's me. No, that's not it. Nope, that's not it either. But there it is. There it is. Nice, small, petite 200-gram roaster for all those people wanting a smaller one. Now you have a little bit of options. Let me see if I can turn up the lights. I got a light now because it's so dark. But yeah, so right here is the new 200-gram roasters, the Cubean. I've been playing with it a little bit for the past few days too, doing stuff other than roasting on it. I'll show you a bit later. But yeah, so this is 200-gram little roaster. Instead of using an actual drum to spin around, it uses like blades. So if you ever see something like a roost before, the roost has little blades inside that agitates the vine versus using a whole drum to spin around. So in smaller amounts, I think that works a little bit better, but yeah, so the bulbs are on top. Turn this music down. Hey, go back. Lame, hold on. Sometimes Stream Deck sucks. There we go. All right. So the bulbs are on top and not inside the drum like it was before. It's actually outside. But I think it's like a 3-bladed system that's in there. I can't tell. I have to open it up, and I haven't opened it up yet. But yeah, that's the way it transfers heat. So whether it works more like a convection or infrared radiant heat roaster, maybe half and half, 50-50. I don't know. I haven't really roasted with it yet, but it's definitely a smaller form factor. They did this where they added the little crappy touch panel to the left of it, so forcing you to keep it. I think it would look a lot better if they just gave you the option to take this off. Cause I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna break it if I were to ship it or bring it anywhere with me. So this feels kind of dumb. But that's one of the decisions, to have like their little fancy controller here. Little chaff collector. And the interesting part is they don't use that little shitty fan that they used before. They have this, it's like a blower. I don't know if you could see that. Yeah, it uses like a small little blower fan. That takes all the, kind of think it takes the chaff out and all the other stuff out. Then it has this another plastic piece over here to put your exhaust vent in. Then it still uses that, let's see if I have it. Basically that filter box that goes on top, they still want people to use that. I think I might have left it upstairs. I can give really two shits about that thing. It doesn't really work. Then you just gotta replace the filter and it becomes more of a hassle. But I think it's more or less the same kind of deal. They have like a little chaff collection bin. So the chaff gets stuck in there and then you could have it pour that out later. There's no side tray to pull out. They have another, I think, fan on this. No, that's not a fan. So if I could open this up, this pretty much just I open up the bottom, there's like this little area where you can get a hold of the pretty much the fan that sucks all the air out and then cools off the bean cooling. They somehow made a worse version of this. So I'm really surprised that they did that. But they give you like ample room inside of here. So if I can show you closer, there's like a fan inside here that sucks air out of this thing. So for bean cooling, it sucks the air out of this like little hole with this little crappy fan that's inside there. I'll tell you right now, there is ample room to do shenanigans in there, so I'm probably gonna do some shenanigans in there, like put a blower in there instead of this little crappy 40, it's like a 4010 fan. So if you have small hands, you might be able to put a nice little blower in there to actually blow air into this area rather than kind of slowly sucking it out. And this all becomes another place of chaff collection too. One other thing is they're doing adding a lot more wood to stuff. They're trying to be fancy, so that's kind of cool. And this gives you the opportunity to, I think you could unscrew this and then put your own in there, which I thought was kind of nice. So, you know, a third market for these parts. Uh-oh, now it's loose. Maybe you can't change it. That's kind of dumb. So what if, like, it's so loose that it could spill beans even more? I don't know. Anyways, yeah. They did a fancy little wood on that part. There's a lot of more wood accents, which are kind of neat, I guess. Oh, another wood accent knob over here. And this feels like hefty metal. Not the shitty, like the shitty this stuff. This metal right here, the sheet metal they were using before. This one actually feels pretty solid. Not like it's strong, nothing cheap. But yeah, that goes right in there. Collects a little bit more chaff. Out the box, it doesn't connect to Artisan. We're getting there. I'll show you what we've been working on, but if I can find someone who knows how to do real coding, maybe they could help me figure out how to communicate with it, similar to the Sky Command. One thing you'll notice is here's this USB-C, and then this actually has to go inside to connect to the board. They removed, there's some pictures online I could show you, but they did remove, let me see if I could show you. They removed a couple things off the board. They promised that it was the same board, but they literally changed a few things. must have posted that somewhere. Maybe I posted it in. So we'll go to my screen. And there it is. So what used to be there was that, let me see if I have a. So usually, usually there's a USB port like this, right? Even with the V1's similar design, they have two of the USB ports right there. Now, they have decided to tell us to go fuck ourselves and use this UART connection down there to go directly into their fabulously designed panel that I love so much. So luckily they didn't hire someone who could encode or decode the board. So it basically sends like hexes, I think it's called it sends packets of information. They're pretty simple to decode because I figured it out, so it has to be pretty simple. And it literally just got to match up this 12-byte code and then send it over serial, and it'll run. But you have to constantly send it over every 200 milliseconds or something. So next big thing is trying to figure out what the code is, what protocol it's running, and when it turns on the drum, what changes in that packet, and getting it onto Arduino or ESP32. It does work on an ESP32, so it doesn't matter if it's 3.3 volt logic or 5 volt V logic. It's kind of the similar to have the V1, so communicating with that will be okay. So my first priority is to get it onto Artisan and High Beam because I don't want to use this out of preference. Let's go back. So what I find interesting though is the bulb inside, it has a different color. Like ours is kind of a little bit of orange. This one is more of a red, so I'll go turn it on and I'll show you. So notice the bulb color is it's a lot more red than what we have in our Skywalker. I think, I can't remember if it was MIR, middle infrared, or near infrared that's a little bit more red. I think it's near infrared that's a little bit more red. So they might have given us a near infrared bulb. I'm not sure, but yeah. So I guess we'll find out and see how it tastes. They also swear that they added first crack detection, which I think they're full of shit. So we're gonna try that out today too to see if there's actually, I'm gonna try auto mode on this thing. I'm finally gonna use this controller that I've been avoiding to use. But it's basically the same controller they used last time, just they mounted it on here to force us to use it. It's funny because they added this whole new protocol system. Instead of using the 6 or 7 bytes in the V1 originally used on their board, it's like up to 12 bytes that you change a little bit and it'll adjust the heat drum or whatever. So they did all that, and they could easily just added a port for us to just like add Artisan or whatever we wanted to. But instead they kind of went of a dick route and decided just to connect it directly to this thing right here. My first order of business is I'm gonna literally probably cut this off, and then I like it flat. I don't want this thing hanging around. And then probably add a better blower fan to it, and put a USB out where this hole is. There's a hole here. I'm just gonna add a little USB-C slot in there. So, you know, standard stuff. Gotta mod it. Otherwise, it looks kind of cool. I do appreciate the smaller package. I always say to myself, I don't want to roast 350 grams of beans today. Maybe I just want to do 150. Beans are expensive. So that's one of my biggest things is I want to roast smaller, experiment a little bit more with smaller batches and not have to worry that I'm gonna mess everything up. Anyways, so I preheated the unit. I'm gonna go ahead and drop this down, but I'll keep the fan on. Yeah, I think it's this fan. We'll keep the fan on. You know what, I'll be good. I'm gonna go grab the filter fan. Oh, I think, no, it's smaller. That's all right. We'll just go do it. We'll just roast with this and see how it goes without the filter fan on. All right, so it has a little preheat thing, so this will preheat to 180 degrees. And then I'm gonna try with the profile today. Let's see. They have a bunch of different codes you can use to pick if it's a natural or washed, honey, fermentation, a dark Robusta. So we're gonna try that. I'm gonna go auto profile today. Pray for me. That is really terrible. Yeah, that's nothing. We're gonna see how long that takes to cool down. So other than that, everything looks pretty much the same, just a small package, less beans. And they took out the USB port. But let's see, I'm gonna have to actually use this one of my Sweet Maria bags and see how I'm gonna split that up. Let's see, I already went to Peru. Let's see, what beans do I want? Guatemala, I'm over. Ah, yes, let's see. Let's try this Kenya Nairi pea berry. Also, I want to try more expensive copies, and I don't want to have to deal with getting like 350 grams, or I could just get 150. I'm gonna do 150 with this one. And from this angle, you could kind of see the blades going. I'm curious to see if this is more of a convection roaster or is it going to be radiant heat. I'm thinking radiant heat. We'll see though. I wonder what the full price is going to be, because if it's like 300 bucks, I think it might be worth it if you want to buy like a smaller roaster, but I definitely want to put more money into the bigger one, right? I think it's more of a value. So while this is warming up, it's going to preheat to 180. I'm going to measure out my beans. They actually give you a little cup now, which I thought was kind of neat. That would have come a lot handy. I think this is actually more useful than the filter fan. But I'm just being a jerk. All right, it's warned us that it's preheated to 180. I wonder if it, oh yeah, it does adjust the heat to stay at 180. Yeah, it does have some PID, not really PID, but this is more bang bang, kind of hysteresis, just kind of keeping it between 180, turning it on and off the bulb. All right. So we'll do a roast with it. After the roast, let's we'll go over a few things. I might ask for some people in the community's help in trying to get this going. But let's get 150 grams. I don't think you'll need a funnel for this. I'm actually really excited to get this unit. I just like smaller roasters, I think. And I think if they do sell this for under 300 bucks, I think it's gonna be fantastic. If it gets any closer to the V1, I'm just gonna say stick with the V1. All right, so let's, I think I could pick a profile here. Or no, I'll go to roast. Wait, what do I do? This would be the time to get the instruction manual, but oh fuck it. Let's decide not to. Profile 000. Oh, I should have picked the profile before. All right. What did I say this was? This bean is a... It's a pea berry. Let me go on my phone and double check if it's been washed or not, or what the processing is like. What the heck? All right. It's not here, so I gotta look it up on their website. I'm on Sweet Maria's website. GCX 7636. Oh, it's not on there. Kenya. Dry process, okay. Actual. We'll go with profile. I'm gonna go with 21. Oops. So we're gonna see how this goes automatic. Can I break out of it? Oh shit. Okay, so you can back out and go to preheat. So we're at 159. We're gonna wait till it hits 180. I have sufficiently seasoned this. Okay, so it's preheated. So let's go dump the beans in and I'm gonna hit roast. I feel weird, but I think this is how it goes. All right. ROR is 0. Now, the video said it does have for apparently first crack detection. Well, we're gonna find out. Oh, I should look at the chat. Chinga pea berry. I don't know if it matters, but this says Katugi, so I don't know. Might be an old one. But I hit washed anyways, so we'll try it washed, Pat. So far it's not bad. It's not as loud as the V1 motor. It's so compact and nice. So we're approaching dry end phase. There's not even a trier in this. No trier. It's kind of a bummer. Maybe they couldn't fit one in. Oh, that's where they put the probe. They put the probe right next to the window. Interesting. The fat gap in there too. All giant phases around 160, right? 165, so. See what happens next. This feels weird without a trier to do stuff. Well, let's see if first crack still hits around the 180s. See if it is a probe issue or is it a radiation absorption, radiant heat kind of issue. First crack. First crack at around 5 minutes. Five minutes, 40 seconds. So I'm gonna do 6 minutes, 40 seconds. 540. 6. We'll do 2 minutes. $540, $740. Oh, I'm gonna drop it at $740. Oh Jesus, it's done. What the fuck? Oh, what the the hell was that? Okay. Okay. That was a 6-minute roast. These beans are gonna taste terrible. How long was that first crack? It wasn't even that long. You know, off the bat, I already think that the V1 does a lot better job managing all this. There's still a shit ton of chaff in here. Like, did this get anything? A little bit. If you take a look at, sorry, I've been bugging that, or blocking that. Back this up. There we go. There's still a bit of chaff. I don't think it did a really good job. That profile wasn't that great. Wait, what did I choose? If I choose 21, oh, okay. So if I wanted a medium, I should have went to 22. All right. That's going in a blend. How is there a bean still in there? Ugh. Okay, actually that fan did a pretty good job. It hasn't been that long, it's already cooled off, but this is only 150 grams. Not bad. Okay. Maybe because of the batch size. But I will put these somewhere. All right. I don't know if there'll be a post weight. I dropped a whole bunch. Let's zero this out. If you need to know what I've collected, 134 grams. I think I like maybe missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 8 beans that might have came out. I thought there was a lot more. About eight or so beans. Sounded like a lot. So post is about 134. Let's try another roast. Got a ton from Peru. Balmati Estate. I'm gonna try India. India, Yerkad, Balmati Estate. A nice acidic snap is followed by raw sugar notes sesame snap candies, toasted barley, dried apple, chocolate wafer cookie, chocolate almond toffee, and a nutty finish. That sounds like it'd be a good espresso. I'm gonna go for a medium on this one. Or if I'm not, oh, I put it in this cup. All right. All right. We're gonna try to go for a medium profile. So that I did 21 last time. I'm gonna do 22. That should be a medium profile supposedly. We'll hit that for preheat. Close this off. Chaff's up here, so I could toss all that chaff in my little chaff bin. Oh. Nope, you have to speak now. Dichloromethane, you gotta speak now. It's boring here. That was on the Discord chat. All right, well, let's try this one more, and then we're gonna open up the controller and then take a peek at the protocol that it sends out, okay? Add a little bit of nerdiness to it today. I know you wanted to talk, you're dying to ask a question. 150. I think it says up to 300, but I think the recommended is 200. And from the looks of it, they're using the same probe with the same mount. So for those who want to add a RTD or a thermocouple, you could use one of the probes that I made, or not made, but purchased, custom made. Not custom made, they're made to order. I mean, you'd have to use your own max amplifier and do all the setup yourself, but it's there. Okay, what are we at now? We are at about 146, so we'll wait for that to heat up. I'm gonna go to another automatic profile again. This time I'm gonna set it up further back. Let's bring this up a little bit higher. So I'm trying out all the profiles on this one, seeing how I've never used the profiles on this machine before. It's actually pretty quiet. It's a lot quieter than the V1. Surprisingly, my M2 was a little bit louder than this, so I thought the M2 would have been quieter. Okay, preheat's on. It's at 180. All right. So now I think I get the beans ready, then I hit roast. They still don't give you the option on automatic to do to adjust the power. They didn't really fix that. Or at least set up a max to where it doesn't go to actually 100%, or just prevent the machine from going to 100%. Anyways, let's load up half the beans. Okay. I'm gonna just pretend like when I hit roast, it's like charged. Drop those in. We'll go down more. I'm gonna take the camera off of here, and we're gonna try to take a peek at the probe placement. So right here is that little probe placement that they put right there. I guess it gets a better, actually doesn't really get that great coverage with the beam mass. I mean, they're still flinging around. If you look at the probe right now at 150, this actually might be better at 200 grams than 150 grams. Because I thought the whole point of this was to envelop the whole probe into the beam mass, where it looks like it kind of has a lot of space. It's like gonna open up in there. Yeah. Like I don't know if you can see that probe in there, but I just assumed it'd be better to have it fully covered in beans, moving around, rather than just at times having it with without beans. But looks like it's taking the temperature just fine. I thought they put it maybe a little bit lower, but I don't know. That might be where the fins of the drum hit. And there's, as you can tell, there's no trier. So you can't do any of that fun sensory stuff that I like. I like to smell my beans when they're roasting, and I like to taste them sometimes randomly during the roast, just because I can. I think I just like this roaster just because of the size. Oh, I should ask Repat how he's liking his V1. Four minutes into the roast, we're about, what, 160 degrees, so dry end is about to happen. Only 2 roasts under my belt. Hey, it's better than 1. Oh, I should probably turn this off. No way. Okay, I thought that was first crack. I was like, there's no way that's first crack at 167 degrees Celsius. Did you taste those coffees yet, Pat? Were they pretty good? Were you approaching third crack? We're already at 176 degrees at 5 minutes and 47 seconds in. We're trying to make this a medium roast. This thing's kind of going quick. Oh, you went for a decaf on the second one? Dang. I thought decafs were a little bit harder to roast. Oh. I need two or three more. There you go. First crack is there. First crack at 6 minutes and 43 seconds. So that should be around a what? Minute and maybe a 2 minute or a minute 45 development time or after first crack. I need it. Looks like we're gonna reach a quick roast, a little bit past 8 minutes, so that's good. Let's not approach second crack now. 10. I'm waiting for it to tell me to drop. I don't really think I detected first crack. That wasn't too bad. If you liked artisan, I mean, you don't even really need to, I don't know, it's up to some people, but I know some people like artisan more than they like high beam. I know more people like high beam than artisan. Either way, you can't go wrong. Yeah, it was like 8 minutes and 44-second roast. That's not a bad time. The chaff looks like it got out a lot better on this round. Man, it looks clean too. Let's take a peek. I think I did a great job. Looks like a pretty nice medium, to be honest. Doesn't look uneven. See if it cooled off fast enough. You know what? This is cooling off at a pretty decent rate. Maybe like a minute or so left. I mean, so far, it's not too bad. I should have measured out how much this weighs, so I can just put it on there. It's all dry now. Or all cooled off. I forgot to turn it on. Whoops. So start off with 150. 127 now. 150 to 127 grams. All right. Not bad. This is kind of loose now. I'm not digging it anymore. Might put some glue on there. I'm not a huge fan of this rotating like that. Cool, I got my little sample roaster. I guess the V1's a sample roaster too. Well, that wasn't too bad. Let me turn this off to reduce the noise. Let's just turn this whole thing off. I'm kind of liking this so far. Some of the stuff I wish it had, but I mean, it's not a total death sentence for this. The only thing I wish it kept was a simple USB port. All right, let's get to the fun stuff. Now, since Artisan will be a little bit more difficult to connect, the next step is trying to figure out the easiest way to get access to this port. So here is the back panel. You get a screwdriver. I think I have one over here. Actually, where's my other one? So, I did a few things on this, so you don't have to take it completely off of this back panel. You could pull this out. Take this off. And there you go. So that's the little JST connection that you used. This isn't done by the factory. That was done by me. I got just soldered in a few pins for me to connect to. So my biggest thing was trying to figure out how do I get this to have artisan and high beam. And what you pretty much got to do is get this all connected up. So I've been putting this like right around here for ground. So I have this little nifty logic analyzer I've been playing with for the past few days. Red here and brown here. All right. So that's all connected there. We're just going to take a peek at what the packets look like. We don't do any deep investigation at night. But just kind of show you what's been going on in the background. DS. So we're going to use this program called DS View. I'm going to ignore that. I'm going to open this bad boy up. Switch failed, all right. Oh, because it's on another one. Here it is. This is DS Logic Plus. I just got to remove some of these. We're only going to use channels 2 and 3. I'll take one out. All right, so basically when you're running this thing, it should be sending packets like this. And that's how it sends it. Sends each signal, so you can tell that there's, in about 1 second, it sends this many packets. So this is pretty much the remote calling the roaster, wait a few, remote, and the roaster returns back and replies, and so this one's saying, sending info, the 12 byte packets over there. It's sending it to the roaster, and the roaster is responding back with temperatures and things like that, right? That's basically how this works. It's very simple. Simple for other people, not for like me or anything. I'm not saying it's easy, but so now what we want to do is we want to decode it. So choose a decoder first. So since we know this is UART, we'll use UART. So let me show you what that kind of looks like first. So let's do 2 is the is there. So we'll hit OK. And then you run it. You can zoom in. So when you see it like this, that means something's off. And it's usually a connection issue or your baud rate. So what you want to do is adjust the baud rate It's at 9,600. All this kind of could stay the same. Check parity. I keep all that. You want an 8. Stop bits at 1. Then hit OK. There you go. So then you'll notice these are the packets that are being sent. So over serial, this is what it's sending, like FEEF. You'll usually see that in the beginning. That's kind of to establish that it's the right connection. And then these numbers have correlations with something, and then usually you got to just play the game of figuring out. Can I turn this off? Fine. Okay. So then you kind of just look at each packet, see what it sends. So FEF, say those all relatively the same, right? And then once that goes out, the roaster responds with this. And you could see what that is by adding that onto there, making sure that it's still 9,600. Good. Get my face out of here. So controller sending this, roaster responds with this. So if we run it again, roaster responds with this and that. And then what you could do for temperature itself, since we know it's going down, we can start at the beginning. So AA5573, and you got to just take different measurements at different times of a certain action. So compare that with this. And you'll more than likely have different numbers in different areas, indicating more than likely that's either the temperature. So that's 78, 808, 885, 5575. Let's snip it. Use something like snippet to grab that. Come all the way to the beginning. Since you didn't change anything, you can maybe see if there is a big temperature change. So FFEF, so now you see that that digit stayed the same, but now it's 76 was cooler, now it's 78. So that means that's more than likely the temperature, because everything else kind of stays relatively the same. 5575. So this is how you kind of figure out to reverse engineer it. So you go look at here, look at this digit, which would be 0, 1, 2, third, the third byte, because everything always starts with 0 when it comes to this stuff. So 0, 1, 2, 3, third byte, 76, 78. So you know that it's increasing temperature by this much. Sometimes it might be the temperature minus 50. Sometimes I might use some kind of fancy regression, polynomial, or whatever the hell it is. This is where things like AI comes in handy, so they could see those patterns. So what I'll do is I'll probably record this, say I only changed the temperature, everything else like the drum stayed the same, and then I'll usually kind of give you an example, kind of figure out what it's using for, like, is it using some kind of linear curve, some polynomial, regression, blah, 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 I don't know. There's so many fancy ways of calculating temperature. It could be something as the raw temperature minus 50. Who knows? Come back, Andy S. He ran away. Maybe Andy could have helped me. So, So yeah, if we wanted to look, maybe let's see what this looks like. So the drum is on, the fan's off, the heat is off. We'll keep that open. Actually, let's take a snippet of the last one here. I'm gonna take a snippet of both of these ones right here. We'll take that and then we'll go ahead. I'm gonna run it, but I'm gonna turn the heat on, and then we could kind of figure out which byte is heat. So I'm gonna put heat percentage to 55, and then I'll go ahead, I'm gonna run this. All right, then I see what's going on here, and we'll pick any of them. Since I'm not making any drastic changes other than the temperature is probably the only thing that's changing over time, but I'll just take one sample out of here to see what would be, what would be the heat, right? So let's grab this. And let's take this over here. We'll zoom in here. So a little bit of changes. So it's FEEF, those remain the same. Those digits for the transmitter side, it looks like it's 0000 seems to remain the same. Another set of 00s. But now it has a 37, which I don't know what that is. That could be the drum, but it also has 00, and then 65. So from 60 to AA to 55 to B1, 88. I think 88 is a checksum, the last one. Usually the last one's like a checksum, supposedly. I'm not sure. But then through a long process, you just up the heat maybe up by 1 and then see what that's like and what changes. And then let's see what else changed on here for the receiving side. So the same to FEEF 08 now, 78. 230878 0000 88 5575. Okay. So it changed a little bit when you increase the heat. So basically what I do on my end is I, late at night, I make a bunch of coffee, and then I will jot this down, and I will know, I'll change one variable at a time, set it in my log, and then I'll put that in like an Excel sheet, track all the changes down that occurs with each of these packets. And then honestly, the best thing to do is once you do all that from 0 to 100% of either the heat or 0 to 100% of either the fan, you copy all those changes and then you upload it to, I'll probably use ChatGPT to see what patterns they could find. And that's usually the best path. I mean, I could do it myself, but sometimes it gets a little confusing. And I'll let AI do it. AI is a lot better, I reckon, doing those pattern recognitions. Like I could spend all night doing it, or I could have AI do it in a matter of a few minutes. So yeah. That's pretty much it in terms of that. So that's will be the biggest thing is next is, because literally if you were to copy this into serial and connect it to the transmitter and you pasted that in, it'll run whatever that's running. Say it's telling it to make sure it's at 100% heat, whatever that is. Then it'll run that. But you just have to keep running it how many times in between each does it wait? It looks like it's So between each is about a period of a width of 87 milliseconds. Okay. So you got to set up your program to, or whatever your Android or Arduino device to be able to send it within those milliseconds. Although I think I did mine, set mine up for 200 milliseconds and it still read it fine. So it might be anything underneath maybe a second to take in that temperature data. Yeah, but what it does is, you know, the controller sends out a signal, the signals reach to the roaster, and then the roaster sends back this bottom signal. Then it waits, and then the controller does it again, roaster sends that back immediately. Roast again, send that back immediately, roast, you know, keep roasting or whatever you're doing, setting up your settings. This will change, and then this will be sent through here to the roaster, and the roaster will send back temperatures and things like that. So there's probably like 3 different things I have to track, and then once I get a table of most of that stuff that's going on, that's when I'm able to get the code ready, which is the hardest part for me, is setting up the code to make sure that it reads it right. I did set up a code where I literally put like put this in, like through serial, and it ran it every 200 milliseconds, and the roaster was running like it would run normally. So I just got to make sure that the signal is, if nothing changes, they'll still send that signal or that packet, and if something does change, the packet's able to, if I wanted to increase temperature, it'll pick the right one of these to take out and put in there's the number that's specific to that. So that's kind of hard for me. I'm still trying to figure that out with the help of AI. So, but I'll probably ask like Sloppy Josh or someone to help me with the code on that, or even like Sky Cowboy. So yeah, that's the next big thing is to get it to communicate with High Beam and Artisan. Then after that is making an installation easy enough for someone to do it. So yeah, I think that's it for the roasting part. I unfortunately have to cut this short. I gotta pack up to go to San Diego. Have a dying relative I need to visit, and yeah. But if you have any questions, concern, if you're looking to get a high, like a Cubean, I mean, I think they're pretty good. I like mine. I like the experience so far. It feels actually pretty solid. It doesn't feel as janky as the, yeah, this overall doesn't feel as janky as the V1 for some reason. It's kind of like a nicer build. I think the wood kind of helps out just a little bit, but overall the size is really nice. My only concern is, you know, how these roasts are going to taste. So I'll probably fill you guys in whenever I come back, or maybe in a few seconds or a few minutes. I'll leave something on Discord to tell you how it tasted. Oops. But so far, overall thoughts, I think it's kind of a nice little machine. Great if you're not into, you know, don't need the 350 grams. If you like to get smaller sample sizes and roast smaller batches, I think this is pretty good. Only things of concern, the chaff on the first set of beans was kind of crappy, but it might have been just the bean, because it was able to handle this pretty well. I was able to handle the last batch pretty well. I also don't like being forced to have this right next to here, especially if I'm going to travel with it. I'm honestly just going to knock this off with a angle grinder or flatten it or something, because I would like to travel with this. There's a trip to Hawaii I want to do, and I want to go to Big Island and be a nerd and bring this with me and try roasting stuff. Oh, there's a question on chat. Safe travels. Thank you, Pat. This is cool. I kind of like this, where the chaff is up here. It has this wood thing to hold on to. You can dump it in, so that's not too bad. They still force you to use their little stupid exhaust filter fan setup, which I don't think works that well. Unless you have a shitload of those filters. Because I feel like it just, eventually it's just going to impede the flow of the airflow. And that all that's just going to get clogged up in that filter, and you have to replace them a whole bunch of times, and I think it's just pretty crappy. Overall, it's really quiet. There's no loud drum noises. I already talked, the accents are really nice. Bean cooling is not bad. I thought it would take like 8 or 10 minutes to cool off the beans. It actually took probably within 5. So I know people are shooting for that 3-minute mark, but 5 minutes, to me, it seems like I'm getting the same result and it should be fine. What else? I think the biggest negative for me is just this overall control panel being forced on you. But that's all could be easily fixed. The next logical thing next for us, for me to do, is to get this to set up to be like a normal USB connected directly to an ESP32, so it could do high beam and whatnot. I just got to figure out what the spacing looks like inside there. Maybe I'll have a little bit of a control panel backs out here. Maybe I'll put a little box in here for the control panel. I don't know yet. Or a control unit. Maybe put a little box there instead of this controller that I'm pretty sure will break. I know if I were to do those repairs and stuff for precision, this is going to be the first thing that breaks. I'm kind of interested to see what light bulb they gave, or lamp that they gave, because it looks like it's something completely different. I also do want to make the mod to be able to keep the unit intact like this, so you don't have to technically chuck this. You can still use it. I still got to figure that out. Leave that off. Oh, trier, no trier. That's another thing I didn't like. I like triers. I like the big thing of roasting I really liked was smelling the beans, tasting them even mid-roast to see what they would taste like at a certain point in the first crack. There's a different way of tasting. I kind of enjoyed that. It's not a complete deal breaker, but I did enjoy the fact that they'd be able to use a trier. Once this pulls out, oh. I was gonna say if this pulled out, that'd have been sick. But no. I don't think there's enough room to put a trier in, to be honest with you. Okay, there's a metal plate that holds the rod for the fans to turn the beans. Oh, and this part. This is probably going to be another point of contention. This will probably get more filled up with a bunch of chaff that gets lost in there somehow, or sucked into here. So that's probably going to be a little bit of an issue, but nothing, you can't just pull these out and clean. I honestly will probably get those bigger bolts, bigger M4s to just make it easier to pull off. Or I might even put a magnet here just so it just sticks on. Let's check out the back. There's 2 fans in the back. I'm curious to see what they're for. Oh, never mind. Okay. So, I guess in their effort to improve safety that they did, it's kind of nice that they did add this little slot hole for the thyristor. It's the board, from what I've seen, basically looks like a V1, right? So that's cool. You know, whatever. Now there's a little bit of airflow in here, but I probably would recommend maybe someone, if they want to do a lot of back-to-back roasts at 150 grams, although I think you probably at that point should or I have 300 grams, but at that point I think you probably should maybe just get a V1. But if anywho, if that's the case, you can easily just mount some holes here to whatever and just put a fan right in there to either blow air in or blow air out. Probably a small little gasket between so it doesn't scrape when it's blowing air towards it. There's another fan here. This must be the fan for the exhaust. I'll bring it up here. This must be the spinning exhaust fan for this thing, which is more of like a blower setup. I do like the fact that there's only 6 screws I really need to take out to open this up. Oh, never mind. Spoke too soon. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15 screws. So. Damn, all right, hold on. I have to. I just have to know what's going on inside here. Here. Oh, we got our very favorite drum motor. It's back in action, but this time probably a lot lighter load, so it works really well. We also have a fan, which I think is providing a little bit of airflow for these two. Ooh, that is hot as hell. Okay. Oh, they're still using our little baby one too, our little baby motor. That is hot as hell too, so that's why they have that fan on there. It's not doing any favors. And they put a little, they're being fancy. It looks like they put a little bit of that ceramic blanket on there around the quote-unquote drum. Well, not like it is the drum. Like there's, yeah, basically just one lamp connected onto there. I haven't opened it up yet. I don't want to get that far into it, but I'll probably dismantle this eventually for science. What the hell did they put this in here for? I guess they got the memo about coffins. Okay. So the cool thing about this is it's totally covered on the top. There's too many exposed wires at the side. These are a little easier access to get into. Just those wires. So there's this is the power supply. I thought they made a fancy duct system. No, it's literally there's this top fan. I think its primary use is to make sure that the exhaust. There's this top fan right here, which looks like to be maybe a 30mm fan. But that's there to cool off this motor and probably give a little airflow to this motor. Jump motor and exhaust fan motor. This one's really hot too to touch. This one, these both are really hot to touch. So good thing these are cheap because they'll be very easy to repair. I guess they put a blanket on. It's doing its job. Yet the top was still pretty hot. It's losing heat somewhere. Okay, so board's in here, power supply's in here, fan is the difference. It's mounted weird. Oh, there's the USB port. Someone wanted me to confirm that there's a bulb at the bottom. There's no bulb at the bottom. There's only one bulb on the top right of it, or left if you're looking at it from behind. Cool. Well, it's kind of neat. That's supported by a piece of metal. There it is. It's a very interesting design. I still like the focus on reusing as much parts of the V1 as you can while making a smaller roadster. It just sucks that they emphasize changing the board to be completely different in terms of having a USB in there. If you look over here, but the most notable one is the USB one, obviously. The board looks almost the same as the first one, except the USB port has changed, but there might be other differences. Plus it looks like it has that big old relay in there. Motor in this unit instead of our 500 brand. It's still funny that they're using a small baby motor. It overheats like crazy, so that's exactly why the fan's on in there. They might as well added a I'm gonna add a heatsink to it. Because I think you could just lay a flat little heatsink on top and it might be able to cool it down. Anytime you overheat these electronics, you're just asking for them to die early. So I don't think it's out of the question for us to buy those really cheap heat sinks and maybe even just put one or two, a strip of them on top, because it's still pretty hot. Fuck, it's still pretty hot. Yeah. So I think just for the fun of it, I'm just gonna put like a little heat sink on top. It has the airflow for it, so it will cool it off a lot faster. Drum motor's still the same, and probably if I open it up, we'll find that plastic gear in there. Lost some volume. Whoops. I need to talk louder. I think I'm losing my voice. Maybe because I put my capture. Is that better? I was not looking at my aux at all. I think I might have moved it. Oh man. God damn it. I had my volume of my mic pretty low. That's gonna suck. Oh well. But anyways, yeah. I kind of like the smaller unit. I'm probably gonna use it a lot more, to be honest, especially when I get the V1 and not the V1, when I get the high beam installed. And I think I'm just gonna install one ESP32 in line, and then try to figure a way to get the controller to talk with the ESP32 and bypass it. I think because when I rubbed the knob on my setup, it probably lowered it down. That's okay. Not really. God damn it, I just need to talk louder. But yeah, overall, pretty cool machine. Especially if the price is right. If they're trying to sell it for $400, I wouldn't buy it. I'd flat out say go fuck yourself. But if you know, if they're selling it for maybe $300 or less, I think that's a fair price. But if you're going to $400, you honestly should just get a V1. Anyways, okay. I went over my time, so 2 o'clock I said I'd be done. All right, I'll let you know if how I like it in a few more days. I'm gonna actually get the X Bloom started right now, try some of these roasts out, and then see if they're any good. But if you have any questions, let me know. If you have any questions or concerns, or you want to know more about this machine, feel free to hit me up. I have one. It works pretty well. It had a weird whine noise when I first got it, and then I think I dropped it. That would be in the range of refresh rows. Honestly, they could probably sell it for cheaper. I think, if anything more than 300, I just don't feel like it's worth it. If it had Artisan where you could just plug in and have it run, although I don't even trust them with that because with the whole V2 is, they're having issues using serial connection to connect to the frickin' the roaster to connect it to computer. I wouldn't even trust them. Maybe just keep it simple and just let the community figure out the protocol to add an ESP32 and to do all the heavy work. So many things I want to do to this machine. It's a little time. But yeah, I'll definitely update everyone on how I'll update the protocol so maybe people could look at it and then give an idea on how they would program it to able to contact high beam. Or have them run AI through all the different scenarios of running it. Because I think it's kind of particular on the way it reads the packet, which makes sense. Can't think of anything else. No. Anyways, all right. So, God, how much are they selling this for? Let's take a peek at that price, and then I'll head out. Nova roaster. Let's see how much they cost in Alibaba. Cubean roaster. How much does it say you get roast on here? 300 grams, okay. So the max size of the roast on this is 300 grams if you're interested. Man. 200 grams, 300 grams. Let's see if the Skywalker works. Really? You could get that for $275 if you just buy 5? How much can I buy these? Manuel mode. Let me see if I can bring my window capture on. I really should just buy 5 of these and sell them all. This is the OEM, Foshan Akimata. I have a loving relationship with them. I'm not allowed to purchase 5 items from them anymore. I have to purchase at least 50 plus. Oh, that's what you are. There's Joan. What up, Joan? She hates me though. She really does. Let's view more. Let's find this. I know they got this. There it is. There it is. Damn. Yeah, if you get it for 190, that'd be great. You just have to buy 500 pieces. Cubean coffee. See if I look that up. Deep search. Ooh, bloody nose. Well, here, make this easy. There you go. Yeah, they only have the option to purchase these at 100 pieces, which I'm pretty sure they would love to do. 1,694 for 100 pieces. And then I'd probably have to pay tariffs on that. Well, here it is. Nope. Still the same thing. They're still going with the Skywalker name. Yeah. So I think they're gonna have to be selling these over 300 for some reason. I have a bad feeling. Because even at 300 pieces, it's only 150. And the shipping, and then if you ship it to the US, you got the tariff, so I could see them selling this for 300 bucks. Like somewhere like Precision or even Artisan. And then, you know, at that point, you might as well go to the V1. .2 smoking crack. Interesting. All right. Anyways. But yeah, so they're saying under 300 would be in the range of a fresh roast, which I agree. They need to go cheaper. But honestly, not a bad machine to start off. I like how it's 190, and if you get 50, a minimum order of 50, you could do like, well, I guess 275. I'd have to order 300 to get it, just $200. What's this? Oh, just the regular Delta. Cool. All right. All right, I'm out of here. Thanks for joining. Once I get the protocol down, I'll let you know how it works out. All right. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. I'll talk with y'all later next week. Hopefully get some more new toys to play with, all right? But other than that, I guess the next big roaster would be the 1 kilogram one, whenever that comes in. We'll see. I don't want to recommend it just yet. V1 I would recommend. This small one I kind of would recommend, just depends on how the next few roasts go. But the V2 I don't really recommend that much because of the V1. It's just a better deal. All right, anyways, take care. See ya.